There are two different variants which come in black and blue. You can find them at britishstand.com or check the link in the description. Let's get into today's video.
And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stand. I hope you're all well. Another day and more protests erupting outside of migrant hotels. There's been a lot made of Epping, of course, over the last 24 hours after the peaceful protests were certainly working, as the council unanimously voted to close the Bell Hotel. However, a couple of days ago we reported to you here on the channel that the Britannia Hotel in Canary Wharf was going to be reportedly housing illegal migrants. Now, if you went on to the Britannia Hotel, whether it be Booking.com or TripAdvisor or whatever, and tried to book a room over the next few months until the end of the year, you would not be able to. There was also reports that people from Hong Kong who had trips to London had their reservations cancelled due to the imminent arrival of illegal migrants. Of course, this has been met with outrage from British Patriots, and of course, wherever British Patriots are and showing their outrage and their anger, you can bet your house on it that the Stand Up to Racism mob will be there as well. Now, outside the Britannia Hotel today, there was a bit of a clash. We're going to be getting into it, and really, it's going to show you, the video footage is going to show you what these individuals are like. The individuals, that are here saying refugees welcome and all of these kind of things. And what they're all about. They're all give it the gob. They give and try and antagonize when the police are in front of them. But when the police aren't there, they are literally helpless. As always, guys, we are going to get into the video footage. But first, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more British content and get involved in the live chat. We'll be joining you very, very shortly. Let's go through some video footage from the Britannia Hotel. So essentially, this is, this is the anti-migration and what it's like.
I'm here now slightly further down from the Britannia Hotel as the anti-migrant protesters have now brought out signs and placards. How it says, deport all illegals, justice for our girls. The English began to hate, bring back hanging and stop the boats, is one someone over here. We have people in Make Britain Great Again hats. The protest has definitely increased. There definitely seem to be more signs, certainly yesterday, more keep our children safe, as you can see there, over there on the...
As I say, it's always very, very peaceful. And I think this is day 3, and there's been nothing really, but people just coming out from the local area and showing their outrage in regard to it. But as stated, the British Patriots is always very, very peaceful. Now, you've got these individuals on the Stand Up to Racism mob that are antagonizing, throwing around false accusations and all of these kind of things. But this is the sort of crowd that you've come to realize. Have a watch.
Say clear! Refugees are welcome here! Say loud, say clear! Refugees are welcome here! Say loud, say clear! Refugees are welcome here! No borders, no nation! Stop deportation! No borders, no nation! Stop deportation! No borders, no nation! Stop deportation!
Now, this is where a clash actually happened. As you can see, the antagonizers keep on gobbing off, but as always, the police protection is there, and they continue to antagonize. Yeah, as stated, just because the police are there, they like to think that they can gob off. But I'd love to see 1v1s. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. No. Well, if there was a 1v1 that actually happened, then, of course, that probably wouldn't be the case. They'd be running and retreating. But these are some of the values that these individuals have. And this is what they think of. Just everyday people that are worried about their children. Like the people in Epping, this is what they think of them.
Fascists and misogynists and incels. Sorry, mate.
We don't debate fascists! Fascists are racist! Fascists scum off our streets! Fascist 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 scum off our streets! Nazi scum off our streets!
Now, following this, one man with a camera was confronted by the Stand Up to Racism activists at the Britannia Hotel, and police were stating that they recommend him walking away, despite them antagonizing, despite them calling him or saying to the British Patriots, apparently saying that women are really afraid of them. They also said that they want women barefoot in kitchens. So they're taking this propaganda. They seem to think that everybody that, again, wants their borders closed are Andrew Tate fanboys, and of course people, racist, fascist, all of these kind of things that they say. But little do they know it's mostly, families, concerned families from small villages. But have a look at this confrontation.
There's a load of scared women here, aren't there? Yeah, you don't like that. The sun won't be saying that, will it? All these women, yeah. It's men like you and them that are
You've been violent. You've been violent, so you need to go.
Yeah, you need to leave. Mr.
Why don't we just get together to show away?
Step away, come on, Baldy.
Over here,
Why don't we step away? Let's see your press card.
a large group of people make me feel better.
So you're not with the sun, are you?
He reads it.
What's going on?
So this is a stand up racism.
Because you don't have a press card, do you?
What is your why?
I'm taking photographs.
Yeah, that's
Right
right.
wing figures.
Yeah.
They're the men we need to be
Violent
afraid
bully.
of.
You're a
Nigel
violent bully,
Farage posts around Andrew Tate saying he's a role model for women. And then it's all men over there.
Yeah, it feels quite antagonistic.
Well, that's because they wouldn't let me take a picture with my...
They don't have to let you take a picture.
Plus, I also think about your
You're the men we're scared of. Right-wing, bigoted men. Go and look on their Facebook and social media and see what they say about their own women, let alone others.
I know you have it, but we're here to facilitate everything. You've got to do what they've got to do what they've got to do. We can just do it safely
Yeah.
and manage it.
Incels and misogynists. That's who we need to be afraid of.
I don't think
Not
they
refugees coming in little boats.
I don't think they want you within the crowd. You've got two very great cameras.
Posting up misogynistic shit against their own women, let alone us.
That's right.
You want to see
You will gain more by standing over there and taking the photos.
You're the
over
men
there.
we fear.
Fantastic cameras.
You're the
We'll get you the
danger.
answers.
You're the danger. You are the danger to women. You want us back barefoot in the kitchen.
Take a step
Yeah.
back.
We're not with you.
Refugees are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Refugees are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Refugees are welcome.
Oh my God, the older lady there, where does she get her information from? She's obviously programmed by the BBC. What on earth is she going on about? They don't want to protect their own women. They're the men that we're afraid of. Okay. If you say so, just look at the statistics. And to be fair, she probably is just tuning into the BBC all the time. She probably doesn't hear about these migrant sexual assaults that are happening out from the hotel. So, of course, yeah, the BBC wouldn't cover that, of course. So, yeah, I mean, she probably none the wiser of what's actually going on. But where the heck is she getting her information from? You should see what they're saying about their own own women. She's probably got one dude on Facebook that she knew 10 years ago that maybe posts misogynistic stuff. But the people that have been out in their numbers outside these hotels have largely been a lot of women. It's funny to see. So I just can't understand their argument. I can never get behind it. And the bullshit that she's just spouting there, honestly. I need to get a picture of her up again. I mean, I don't want to.
I'm here now slightly further down from the Britannia Hotel as the anti-migrant protesters have now brought...
Where is she? Let's have a look at her, man. It's this one. There she is, there, look. Jesus, the one there, she's shouting. Oh my God. Literally. Mad program. I just don't know where she gets her information from, honestly. It's utterly crazy. But guys, do let me know your thoughts on these altercations. Do let me know your thoughts on the whole Britannia Hotel. Do let me know your thoughts on everything that is happening outside the hotels. And actually, as we're live right now, and I'm just going to be following this one a little bit from an outside, but we're starting to see several hundred people actually start to gather in Ashfield to protest mass migration and asylum seeker who already sexually assaulted a local resident. I'm just going to see that because that might start to kick off as well now in Ashfield. Then, of course, Glasgow this weekend. There's a big one that's erupting in Glasgow this weekend as well. Beautiful, beautiful city. A city that's been divided. But hopefully, of course, we're going to see people coming together and demanding mass deportations. But it's going to be a very, very busy weekend across the board. I think there's one potentially in Leeds as well. So yeah, lots and lots of stuff happening over the weekend. So keep your eyes out on it. But you're starting to see the country wake up. And certainly I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in Glasgow. Terry says she wouldn't be shouting that if it was a dad outside that church. 1,000%. The thing is with these individuals that are sitting out here, you know, not to be, I would never wish that upon anybody, but they don't realize that some of those girls there are the target audience of these individuals that they're wanting in their country, funnily enough. And until something happens closer to home, that's probably when the penny will drop. But, you know, the problem with it is I always see it with people that are on the left, far left. You know, a lot of them are champagne socialists, firstly. They come from wealth and they've never really had struggle in their life. They don't really know because these individuals aren't being dropped off in middle-class neighborhoods or upper-class neighborhoods, so they don't get to see it. They don't see all these kind of things, and, you know, they're happy with just seeing what's trendy in their public school and all of these kind of things and want to try and be a person, but they don't understand exactly what it's like. They've never experienced such things. And as stated, those individuals holding those placards and shouting all these things about refugees welcome here, be careful what you wish for. Turkey should not vote for Christmas, or definitely would not vote for Christmas. So, as I said, it's crazy. I don't know where they get educated. They do get educated by the BBC, I know that. Whatever the mainstream media propaganda machine is pushing, they'll push those views. It's a new flag every single week. Well, it was Ukraine a couple of years ago, then it's, of course, Palestine flag, then it's Iran, flying Iran flags, but everything's conflicting. People on the far left don't understand that their views conflict each other. The same people that fly LGBTQ flags and, you know, vote for feminism and really want are feminists and all of these kind of things, are also the same individuals that fly Iran flags when they were fighting sort of Israel. And little do they know that those groups would not coincide with each other. And it's just very conflicting. I love to see the far left, of course, talk about Islam as well. Like, they're not accepted. Feminism is not accepted in that religion, and nor is LGBTQ, whatever they call that alphabet these days. That's not accepted in that religion either. So I really do find it ironic that they do have all of their priorities, they have all their views messed up, and they're a very, very confused bunch of people. That's all I would ever say. The cops have a very different way of dealing with them as well. The cops do deal with them very, very differently. They're not sitting around, you know, the way that they deal with this demographic is very, very different to how they would deal with things in Epping. Whilst, yes, sometimes they just counter-protest these individuals, but I've seen it before with pro-Palestine marches. You don't see that sheer level of policing, riot shields and all of these kind of things at those sorts of events and protests. It's very much a two-tier justice system, but these people are not alienated. The middle class will collapse. It will be the working class and the elite soon, says C.D. Scott says, I wonder if the female agitators get paid the same as men. Sometimes, yeah, as I said, apparently stand up to racism. I think Diane Abbott's a leader there. Again, don't take that as gospel. I think I read something about that the other day. Christina says, do they not realise how much danger illegal immigrants are to this country? No, because they don't see it. They're all public school people. I've met them before, you know. I'm in that demographic where some kids went, I went to a school that was fairly, mixed. But then these individuals, the ones that come from upper class backgrounds, they end up going to, Bristol Uni or whatever, and they end up getting brainwashed by that, and they end up being really weird, announcing themselves as pronouns. They will have blue hair and look like freaks, right? But they're the ones that are pushing this thing, but they don't know what life is like in a working class, or from a working class background. They can't relate to it. And yeah, they've never seen the impact of what these migrant hotels and what illegal immigration does, because they're nowhere near the firing line. So of course they're happy for it. They want to look good. They're trying to look good in society. They're confused, and yeah, they don't know what the impact is, and just programmed by the BBC every single day. You are too polite. They are deluded. Absolutely. This is the greatest thing, and actually I've seen the Nelk boys do this, and this is something I've got an idea for potentially doing a prank, right? So for those of you that didn't know me before, I've been around the block on YouTube for a while, and the first ever channel, and a shout out if any of you people will remember me from this time, but I used to do pranks, public pranks on YouTube. For those of you that want to see it, it's called YDSA. We haven't posted on there 5-6 years, but YDSA was the prank channel, and essentially we used to do just public pranks, right? And you can have your thoughts on that. But I always wanted to do that, recreate something where you go to these individuals' houses, right, that have refugees welcome at their door, and you come around almost like a council enforcer with a pen and paper, and you say, look, what do you feel about refugees coming to the country? And they're like, yes, refugees should be welcome, they should be thing. And then you just turn around and then whistle like on a walkie-talkie and say, okay, boys, she's ready. And then you bring this minivan in of like fake refugees, and then just see what her reaction or his reaction would be when she's confronted with all these individuals that are going to move into the house. I found it very, very funny. But yeah, doing those kind of public pranks would be hilarious, to see what their reaction would be when actually they're confronted with potentially having a refugee staying in the house, despite what they spout on Facebook, X, and all of these kind of things. But yeah, the Nelk boys did the Nelk boys in America, I think they were Canadian pranks. They did this with liberals in America. It was absolutely hilarious. Minibus full of like Mexicans, and they quickly changed their tune very, very quickly when they're confronted with were confronted with potentially housing illegal migrants in their home. Mikey says refugees welcome, but not one of them would actually give them a home and can come up with every excuse not to have them under. I wonder why. Yes, and they would never actually have them in the vicinity of that area. Foxy Disco, what's your Wi-Fi code? Yeah, guys, there. People remember. YDSA. It was a long time ago. I've grown up since then. Although I do very much miss it. It was some good times. Very, very good times. Hey, maybe we'll bring back some pranks for 2029. Maybe we will go up to Labour voters' doors as like reform candidates, fake reform candidates, and just wind them up. It'll be really, really fun. A good idea. We'll see what happens with time. Roy, I live in Bradford. I feel sorry for you, mate. I live in Bradford in an area which is Muslim and Christian, and everyone gets on, and I talk to them and hate Islamists and immigration. I mean, I looked at the place, to be fair, and it's an absolute. I mean, the architecture actually looks pretty good. I watched it. Who was it? Charlie Vitch was there the other week. I think I watched his live stream, but it was a very interesting live stream the other day. Certainly entertaining. I think it was in Bradford, and it was great architecture, great buildings, but yeah, I don't think I'll be visiting Bradford anytime soon. Let's put it that way. And that's no disrespect to people of Bradford, by the way. MD says, what's your name? Been watching you for all ages. My name is Dan. And no, I'm not going to Glasgow, unfortunately, but I would love to. I absolutely love Glasgow as a city. And as I said, I really want to see the Glasgow unite, you know. I know it's divided, well, not so much as it once was, but through the football teams. Rangers are always seen as the far right, by the way, and then Celtic seen as the far left. But I've received a lot of messages from Celtic fans stating, you know, keep up the good work here, and we believe in the message that's being pushed. So not all of them are Palestine waving flags at their stadium, but yeah. I hope to see Glasgow unite, and I'm going to be watching on with eager eyes with Glasgow, one of my favourite cities within the UK, and of course, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in Glasgow tomorrow. Hopefully it's going to be a good one. That old girl should be on BOB. You some kind of comedian? Nah, no. I was just aspiring to do stuff like on YouTube. And me and my brother, we used to just like prank and stuff. England, Scotland, Ireland and Wales, we are all within the same cluster, getting clusterfucked. Time to unclusterfuck ourselves and be one island. I mean, I suppose, I don't think that will ever happen, to be fair, but I do see a lot of support coming from Ireland right now in terms of they have the same fight on their hands as the UK right now. They're not happy with the way that their government is opening their borders, by the way. So whilst Britain and Ireland, I'm talking about mainline Ireland, Republic of Ireland, have had their differences in years gone by, especially from Irish people, I suppose, they don't like the Brits that much. Theoretically, people say over history, but of course a lot of Irish people do tune into this channel, so shout out to the Irish. They're fighting a good fight right now, and hopefully that they do get their country back. The Irish go about things in a bit of a different way to us, but we're starting to see mass protests, of course, erupting in the UK as well. But I've liked the scenes and the energy in Ireland, but to ever say them to join us, that's never going to be happening. We're all different countries, but we're all fighting the same fight. Illegal immigration, mass migration, as is Europe. And to be fair, I've been praising Poland a lot recently, but Greece, there's a lot happening in Greece, and I might cover the latest with Greece a little bit later on if you guys are up for it. But essentially, as I'm going live now, the Greek MEP, and sorry for my awful pronunciation on a Greek name, Aphrodite Latinopoulou, confronted the EU in a speech. She said, "You had filled up with Mohammedans. You have subsidized the Islamization of Europe. They are assaulting our children in the name of Allah. Kick them out of Europe before it dies." Yeah, this is wild. So we may cover that a little bit later on from Greece. But Greece doing really, really good things. And approved that just because you're in the EU or a part of the ECHR, you can still stop illegal immigration and start doing mass deportations. So we'll have to see what actually happens in time. But yeah, watch Greece closely because they're doing things and they've proved things, what you can do, despite our government saying you can't do this because we're in this club or we're in this club or we're in this club. They've just shown it. They've ripped up the rule book and said, nah, it's not happening. We're stopping this illegal immigration. We're deporting everyone who's illegal and are starting to take their fight back. So that's very, very good to see. So we'll see what happens with Greece. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, it's been a long one. Do let me know your thoughts on everything. If there's any more, as I said, there's so much happening this weekend. Glasgow, of course, but as we're speaking now, Ashfield as well. Protest is erupting there. So be following that closely also to see what happens. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe